Okay, good morning, friends. So, from today onwards, we are going to learn about the subject network analysis. So, this subject is having different names such as network analysis, network theory, circuit theory, and circuit analysis. So, before we going further, first we look into the fundamental aspect about this particular subject. So, first question arises is what do you understand by circuits and network? So, circuit and network both are the interconnection of various elements to perform some specific task. Okay, so if we take a look into a circuits and network, both are the interconnection of various elements to perform some task. Okay, so what is the difference between these two particular terms? So if we take a difference, basically, uh, circuit is intended with a flow of current. Okay, so in circuit we have a current that flows through all the element. Okay, so we have a current in a circuit that flow through all the elements. Through all the elements present in a circuit. Okay, so if we take a simple example, suppose we have one uh, circuit in which we have a voltage source. Okay, let us suppose it is a 10 volt which is connected with a resistance. So as you can see, this is a closed path. If we take a look into this particular segment, so current will pass from this particular voltage source and it will go through all the elements present in the network and then it will return back to this particular point. Okay, so as you can see, we have a voltage source and this particular network drags a current from this voltage source and that is passed through all the elements present in a circuit. However, in networks, current does not necessarily flow to all the elements. Okay, so over here we have current does not necessarily through all the elements. Okay, so the example is, again we are taking this particular thing. We have a voltage source, then we have a resistance over here, and suppose we have one more branch over here which is connected with this, and this particular branch is not connected with any other branch. Okay, so we have an open circuit over here. So now you can see, this is an example of network. In this particular example, the voltage source provides a current that is flow through all the different elements present, but since this particular point is not connected to any other branch or node, or we can simply consider it as a open circuit, so the current is not flowing over here in this particular area. So this is a basic example of a network. So we have fundamentally two particular things, network and circuit. Now Uh, as we know that most of our practical systems are the big interconnection of all the elements. Okay, so we perform a network analysis or we perform a circuit analysis to some specific part of an electrical network, or we analyze a complete electrical network. Okay, so basically we have in network analysis, we basically consider passive and active components. Okay, and active components. So the most of the time we deal with the elements which is R, L and C, and for an active component we consider a voltage and a current source. Okay, so in network or circuit analysis we have a interconnection of these particular elements. So, and we have different topologies, and we are analyzing that those particular topologies for some specific purposes, or that is connected to perform some specific task. Okay, so basically if we if we if we talk about the analysis segment. Okay, so let me first discuss with you what do you understand by analysis and what do you understand by synthesis. Okay, so suppose if we have some block over here. Okay, now as you can see we have over here one input. Okay, and that input is passed to this particular system and we get an output at that particular position. Likewise, let us suppose we have one block over here and we provide an input in that particular block and we get a some output. Okay, so suppose if we have an input over here and we have a network given over here. Okay, so when we apply input to that particular network we get some output. Okay, so this is called as what? A analysis. Okay, because we have a specific network and we are providing input to that particular network, and that network will produce some specific output. Okay, so we have a specifically unique solution when we pass a specific input to a network. However, suppose if we have an input and we apply that particular input to a block. Okay, and we know the output of that particular, I mean to say, uh, we want to have some specific output. Okay, and based on that particular output, suppose we are providing some input, and now we have to design this particular network so that we get a specific output. Let us suppose we want to design a low pass filter, so we have a specific cutoff frequency. Okay, so that we select the element in such a way we do not get a output after this particular frequency. Okay, so we have an output and we have an input. Okay, now we have to design the this particular segment or this particular element. So this particular thing we called as a synthesis, in which we want to synthesize the network elements or the circuit elements so that after providing a specific input we get some specific output. Okay, so this is called as synthesis. So I think you get cleared about the analysis and synthesis. So in network analysis we have some specific circuits, we are providing input and we get an output. Okay, at that particular output we are going to find in this particular. Okay, so we have various tools and techniques available, and we are going to learn all those things in this particular subject. Okay, next uh, next we are going to discuss about a linear components of a circuit. Okay, or a circuits. Okay, so if we want to graphically represent a linear characteristic, so we know this looks something like this. Here we have a time and we have some x. Let us suppose we have some x over here. Likewise, if we have a graphical characteristics which is something like this, let us suppose it is x1. Okay, suppose we have these two particular characters. It is clearly observable that this particular characteristics we can easily model, okay, or we can easily represent mathematically, but this thing is not modeled. Okay, these things we cannot, this particular characteristic we cannot model easily. Okay, so now you can see we have a linear curve and we have a non-linear curve. So in this particular non-linear curve, if you can see, suppose if I uh, if I specify this particular thing for a very short interval of time, let us suppose if I consider this non-linear curve for this particular very short interval of time, so we can have a linear characteristics at that particular portion. Okay, it might be possible we get a linear characteristic in that particular region. Okay, so if we talk about in terms of network analysis, so most of our practical component or network, our practical components or networks are non-linear in nature. Okay, they are non-linear in nature, but non-linearized characteristic, but non-linear system can be linearized for a small duration of time. Okay, so okay, so all of our components and all of our networks, okay, if we practically consider it, all those component and networks are nonlinear in nature, but we can linearize those particular networks for a small duration of a small duration of a time, okay, for some specific rating. Okay, so small duration of time. So next point is we design all the we design all our networks was practically for specific or specified rating. Okay, as long as they obey Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's law, superposition principle, etc. Okay, so it is quite clear from this particular statement that we can specifically design a system. Okay, as long as we have a network component that obeys Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's law, superposition principle, etc. So we can consider they said to be a linear system. Okay, and then we can easily perform a analysis corresponding to that particular system. Next is a VI characteristics. Okay, so now we are going to learn about a VI characteristics of a element. VI characteristics of elements. Okay, so now we have two particular terms. First one is a bilateral, and next one is a unilateral. As the name itself implies, bilateral means when the uh, properties of an element is independent of a polarity of a potential. Suppose if we talk about a resistance, okay, suppose we have a resistance connected over here, and we know very well that this particular resistance value, suppose 2 ampere current is flowing over here in this particular resistance, and we get a potential of 4 volt over here for a 2 ohm value of a resistance. So if we pass a current, so definitely the polarity of a potential is connected over here in such a way. That's why the current is flowing over here in such a manner. Okay. Likewise, suppose if the polarity is connected in reverse order, then also the resistance would get some specific potential drop over here. Okay. So it is independent of the voltage, independent of the voltage source or a polarity of a potential difference applied over here. However, so however, in a unilateral circuits or unilateral elements, we have a conduction in a specific direction. The simplest example is a diode. Okay, we know that the diode only conduct when we have a higher potential at a pitch side and a lower potential at a N side. So this represent the N and this represent the P side of a diode. Okay. So it will only conduct when the diode is in forward bias condition. Okay. So the property of a unilateral depends on a polarity of a voltage. Okay. So the property is polarity dependent. However, here this is a polarity independent. Okay. So if we want to represent in a graphical format, so how do we represent? Suppose we have a V over here, we have a I over here. Okay. So likewise minus V and minus I over here. So bilateral represent in this particular thing. Okay. So you can see we have a first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and this one is a fourth quadrant. So the in bilateral, the characteristic at the first quadrant is equal to a characteristics present in a third quadrant. Okay, this represent a bilateral characteristics of a element. However, for a unilateral, let us suppose we are going to plot a curve for VI characteristics of a diode. So we know it is something like this. Okay, so we have a V over here, we have a I over here. So you can see over here, again here in the first quadrant and in the third quadrant, the characteristics is quite different. So in unilateral, we have a characteristics present which is not equal to a characteristics present in a third quadrant. Okay, so this represent a unilateral characteristics of a element. Okay. Now we are going to see uh, characteristics of a passive element and a active element. So passive elements, which we also called as sinks. Okay. So first we take a passive element. So passive element, as I have already told you in network analysis, we are going to have a component RLC, voltage source and current source. So the example of passive elements are R, L and C, and we have few specific characteristics of these particular elements. So if we take a representation, general representation of passive element, suppose we have this particular element in which current is flown towards that particular element. Okay. So the way current enters, we consider it as a positive, and the current which go outside we consider as a negative. Okay. So this is a representation of sink. As you can remember, we have a represent over here that in the resistance the current entered, so we have represent in a positive, and the current leave at this particular end, so we represent in a negatives. Likewise, so we have a element in which current enters, so we call it as a positive terminal, and when the current enters in this particular uh, uh, node, that we call it as a negative. Okay. So we have a specific properties of a passive element that they can absorb a power. Okay. Or we can say it dissipate the electrical energy present, or it waste the electrical energy. Okay. Most of the component get heat up. Okay. So the effective power would get reduced and it get waste, or we can consider it can store. So store is for L and C components. Okay. Okay. So we have these particular characteristics for a passive elements. Okay. So it can either absorb, dissipate waste, or store energy. So over here, if we talk about a sink or a passive element, we have a power which is absorbed, and we can consider it as a positive. Okay. And power delivered, we consider it as a negative. Okay. This is just a way of representation. Okay. So if we find a power across this particular element, okay, since this is a sink, so definitely power is absorbed by this particular element, and we are representing with a positive sign. And definitely since it is absorbing, so it will not, it cannot deliver a power, so that's why we are representing with a negative symbol over. Similarly, if we talk about the active elements, so active elements we can also call as a sources. Okay. So sources have a characteristics that they can energize a network. Okay. Or they can drive a network, or active elements can deliver a power to a network, or it give out a energy to a network. Okay. So we have these particular point in terms of a electrical energy. Okay. So if we want to represent a source, we have a give out symbol over here. So we have again a positive over here and negative over here. And now you can see the direction of current is away from a positive terminal. Okay. So it represents that they are delivering a power. Okay. So this is a specific representation of a source. So if we talk about a power absorbed by a source, so definitely this is now a negative term. And here power delivered is a positive term. Okay, so we have a passive elements and a active elements. Now, based on the polarities of a voltage and current, okay, we have different symbols. Okay, so now we can represent in a graphically, or suppose if we have some elements or some network present, and we and the question is asked about how how do you find that the particular element is acting as a source or a sink, then we have to refer a VI characteristic. So uh, now we are going to learn about a VI characteristic representation of a passive and active elements. Okay, so as I have already told you that we have four quadrants. So now what I am doing is we have this particular thing. This is what? Plus V plus I minus V minus I. Okay. So this is representing what? First quadrant. This is representing second quad. This is third quad. And this is fourth quad. Okay. So in fourth quadrant, in first quadrant, suppose we have what? A plus symbol over here, minus symbol over here. So you can see we have a current direction, okay, that represent a plus I, okay, since the current is inserting to that particular element, so it is representing what? A sink. Okay, again over here we have a plus minus because the potential is, oh I'm sorry, okay, so we have what? A uh, based on the polarity we have a minus V over here. Okay, so we have a minus V over here, we have a plus V over here. So in this particular case again we have a current direction which is like this. Okay, so in both the cases we have a current uh, which is representing in downward direction. Over here we have a positive V which is represented by a plus and minus, so this represents a potential difference of V, this represents a potential difference of minus V, and in both the directions we have a current which is in a downward direction. So this second part is representing a source. Okay, now we have representation over here. Again we have a negative, so we have a minus and plus sign over here. Now the current direction is, it is showing upward. Okay, so this is a representation of a sink, and again over here we have a potential which is plus minus, and the current direction is again a upward. Okay, so this is a representation of a source. So now you can see if we have a characteristics which is representing in a first and third quadrant, it represent a sink, and if a characteristics which is representing in a second and fourth quadrant, it represent a source. Now we take a few fundamental examples to understand this particular concept. So let us suppose we have a problem over here, and in that particular problem we have given the static Vi characteristic is shown below. Then the component is okay. We have a characteristics given over here. Suppose this is V I and the characteristic shown over here is something like this. Okay. And we have given a four question. So A is linear, active, bilateral. B is linear, passive, bilateral. C is non-linear, active, unilateral, and D is non-linear, passive, bilateral. Okay, so we have this particular graph given and we have given a four options. So now, as we have already discussed that this represent a first quad, this is a second quad, this is a third quad, and this one is a fourth quad. So the characteristics is now present in a first quad and third quad. So it represent a passive element because as in the previous segment we have already learned that when the characteristics is present in first and third quad it represent a sink, and sink is nothing but a passive elements. Okay, so we have a graphical representation which is present in first and third quad, so it represent a passive or a sink. Now uh, the characteristics present in first and third quad is equal. Okay, so this represents what? Bilateral. Okay, as we have already discussed over here that in the bilateral we have a characteristics which is similar in first and third quad. Okay? So over here also we have a characteristics which is looking alike. Okay, so we have a bilateral characteristic. Next, we already know that this is not a linear behavior. Okay? So characteristics we are showing is a non-linear. So out of these particular four options, we have D option which is correct. Okay, D option is correct. So this particular graph is representing a characteristics which is a passive, bilateral, and non-linear. Next problem we have. Suppose if we have a characteristics given over here, which is representing in this particular form. Okay. So now you can see we have a V and I characteristics over here. Now, what does this particular thing represent? Okay. So again, we have given a four option over here. Suppose first one is it is a linear resistor. B is linear transformer. C is linear diode, and D is linear battery. Okay, so now we have to select a possible option. Okay. So now you can see with this particular VI characteristics, we can easily analyze that the graph is now present in first and second quad. Okay. So first quad is representing what a sink, but the second quad is representing what a source characteristic. So whatever the element, this graph representing both the characteristics, which is a sink and a source. So out of these particular options, we have a battery over here, which is a correct option. Okay, because this graph characteristic is linear, which is easily showing over here, and it is behaving as a sink and source both, which is a characteristics of a battery. Okay, so battery while charging act as a sink. However, during discharging, it acts as a source. So the best suitable option is D over here. Okay. Next set of examples we consider in the further line.